But if you think about the products that exist, especially some of the more innovative verticals that are now beginning to arise, you really find that that's not the right model for everyone. Mm-hmm. When you think of Blue Apron's success, again, don't think you have it in Austria. I'm sure that there are great competitors there, though. But Blue Apron has kind of the perfect experience. You purchase the subscription. You can go in weekly, excited to see what menu items exist, pick the meals that work for you, customize them if you want shrimp instead of chicken, a low carb option, whatever. That is the experience. That level of customization and branded experience is what we want to be able to provide brands all throughout the D2C space and of all, again, verticals and revenue models.
Hello and welcome to the eCom Ops podcast. We believe that there is more than enough content focused on e-commerce marketing and not enough content celebrating the real heroes of e-commerce, those running the operation. Each week, we find and interview an e-commerce operations expert to share the secrets behind how some of this industry's most exciting businesses are run. I'm your host, Norbert Strappler, the CEO of Smartrr.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the eCom Ops podcast. Today I'm talking with Gabby from Smartrr. So it was a very smart eCom Ops podcast interview today. Hi Gabby, great to have you here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's a very, very interesting product that you have with Smartrr. It's Smartrr Recurring Revenue Engine. I'm really curious. Tell us a bit more about that. What's about Smartrr?
Yes. So what we do is we work with D2C brands all over the world and offer them the opportunity, not just to offer subscriptions on their website, but real membership programs. So whether you're looking to have one product that is recurring on a monthly basis or a build your own box, we help clients with that and everything in between.
Okay, cool. And what is the impetus behind the creation of it? Why did you build it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I grew up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and during COVID, I started noticing all these stores that I knew growing up were closing and transitioning to eCom. So that was interesting to me, but I was definitely not in the space. My history is more on the real estate side of the world. Met a couple of great founders who really kind of educated me about the e-com space. One being Abi Ramesh, who runs Misfits Market, which I don't believe you have in Austria quite yet, but hopefully one day. And he talked through the challenges that they had with their subscription billing engine, having to ultimately build their own. And I saw a huge opportunity for us to be able to help businesses of, the size of Misfits, but also businesses smaller that were just starting out that didn't have that capital to offer a really great experience for their members.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And how did you get in e-commerce when you coming from the real estate?
It was the opportunity. My background is in sales, so I am really passionate about helping any kind of business solve their problem. In my last role, I was at Reonomy, which is a Series D prop tech company, and we helped commercial real estate agents and debt brokers and investors and lenders all find information that was really helpful to grow their business. So this is slightly different just by nature of the industry being so different, but ultimately we're still helping businesses grow and increase their revenue, which is ultimately all I want to be doing.
Yeah, got it. And what sets you apart from your competition? What makes you better?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that there's room for many players, but how we differentiate ourselves is that we really put the end consumer first. Smartrr is no code, really easy to install, really easy for the shop to maintain, which are all differentiators in themselves. But ultimately, the product is built around how do we make the end consumer, so you and me, the people buying the products, how do we make it as enjoyable for them to log in, swap items, buy more products, all with the intent of helping the brand increase LTV, improve retention, and be able to actually offer upsells.
Yeah, got it. You're stating on your website something like, gone are the days of subscribe and forget. Convert customers to a membership they will want to engage with. So yeah. This really sounds like that. But how do you achieve that? How do you achieve that methodology? What makes this happen, the strategies?
Yeah, great question. So the days of subscribe and forget being gone, really what that implies is there have been kind of limitations that were given to brands, again, of all revenue models, of all verticals in the D2C world, where you could offer X number of products with X frequencies and X% off. But if you think about the products that exist, especially some of the more innovative verticals that are now beginning to arise, you really find that that's not the right model for everyone. When you think of Blue Apron's success, again, don't think you have it in Austria. I'm sure that there are great competitors there, though. But Blue Apron has kind of the perfect experience. You purchase the subscription. You can go in weekly, excited to see what menu items exist, pick the meals that work for you, customize them if you want shrimp instead of chicken, a low carb option, whatever. That is the experience. That level of customization and branded experience is what we want to be able to provide brands all throughout the D2C space, and of all, again, verticals and revenue models.
Yeah, cool. Well, we have something similar. It's called HelloFresh.
Yes, exactly.
That's quite cool. So your tool provides that backend for this, so that you can customize your subscription that you have with that specific store, and allows the users to modify it, to change the intervals, to add, remove products, and especially to upsell products. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So basically, our team will go into your shop and design based on your preferences exactly what product selling plans exist, exactly what the branded experience looks like. If you wanted to do a build your own box, you can. If you wanted to have kind of more of a sequential style of subscription, where maybe there's a starter kit to begin with, you can do that as well. And then once the brand actually approves Smartrr's work, then we can go live, and the experience for the end consumer is exactly what you described. They can go in and really easily manage their subscription, their membership. The idea is, how do we make it easy for someone to manage their subscription so they don't cancel? That being said, if someone wants to cancel, that's okay. And we need to normalize that as well. I think that there's obviously a stigma around losing business, but it's okay. There might be seasonality in the product. There might be preference changes. What we do want to make sure to do, though, is collect data on why people might be canceling. So we also have, in addition to everything that you just mentioned, a smart cancellation flow where brands can actually customize why someone would want to cancel. And then we actually create alternative options. So if someone said, I'm canceling because I have too much product, the prompt will be, do you want to skip this order instead? Do you want to gift this order instead? And then we collect data on all of that so that even if you do lose a customer, you're learning from that experience.
That's very important. So have all the data at the fingertips and understand why someone is not purchasing anymore, why someone is canceling. But tell me a bit more, what makes the perfect subscription business? What is the perfect brand? Who should do this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And what's very, very cool is we have data on what works by industry. So if anyone listening to this wants to reach out and find out more specific information for their vertical, we're happy to provide that. But high level, it's making it really easy when you're selling a convenience good. So when you think of water or toilet paper, making it really easy for someone to buy for the convenience. Maybe there's a slight discount or free shipping, which we see convert really well, but really it's about making it easy. I don't want to think about having my water delivered. I want it to be at my front door at the right time. But then there are products, exactly, right. And then there are products that are more luxury products, boxes, jewelry subscriptions or food subscriptions that have unique items that you really want to create a strong experience. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I came from real estate, and a few years ago, even before COVID, retail started struggling, and the future of retail became the experience. And now we see that happening in D2C and eCom too, where it's about creating a really nice flow where someone can log in and feel the experience as if they were going to a restaurant or a beautiful art museum, right? You want to have that connection to the brand through the online channel.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So I want to build a subscription-based business. What shopping cart solution do I need so I can work with you?
Yeah, great question. So right now we're on the Shopify ecosystem.
Yeah.
We go through Shopify's checkout, which is a great point. It makes for higher conversion and a really, really seamless flow. Other than that, we'll go in and set up the rest.
Okay, great. So I connect my Shopify store. You reach out to me, you help me customize everything, or you customize it for me, and we're ready to go.
It's that easy. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, do you also think about other e-commerce solutions? So there is not only Shopify. I know it's the biggest one, but there are much more like Magento or WooCommerce.
Yes, of course. That's on the pipeline for later this year. We'll go into BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Magento, really all of the ones that our clients are requesting. It's just Shopify obviously has more than enough shops to go around. So we found a lot of success there, but absolutely will be expanding.
Yeah, cool. In your opinion, what's the biggest challenge facing DTC brands today?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that exhaustion really is. I think that people easily become exhausted and even distracted by a product that they're loyal to. So making sure that you create a really, really great experience, because of course the product is going to be good, right? Of course, everyone thinks at least that their product is the best. I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, for sure. And that's wonderful. But there's a lot of other elements that we have seen interrupt the experience that people have when buying their favorite chocolate or their favorite candy or their favorite alcohol brand online. Shipping delays, for example, right? That has caused a lot of interruption in people's service, but also the experience online. So we want to make sure that we take pride as a brand in what we create as the experience, and make sure that if something like, upsell or member only pricing, member only drops is going to help that experience, that's what we should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think? What are the biggest mistakes that the e-commerce store owners currently make? What do you see frequently?
Oh, that's a tough one. So, well, there's a couple. I think one is, and obviously we're in the subscription business, but I think we should be honest and say not every product is subscribable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's definitely a hot topic, right? People love the idea of recurring billing, as you should. But I think that we have to be really strategic about what items we make eligible for subscription and what the discount is for subscribing. How much do we want to, reward someone for choosing the automatic route? And then I think another big thing is, and we talk about this a lot, is do we focus on CAC or do we focus on LTV and retention? And I think, and I even saw this in my old world working in SaaS, where there was such a focus on CAC, which is understandable. It is kind of the shiny object in the room, of course. You want new customers, you want new clients. But at the end of the day, you really have to make sure to still focus on the clients that you have, because it's certainly easier if you have a good product to have happy clients than to acquire a new one. Always. That's always going to be the case.
Yeah. It was actually even one of my questions. Why do you think that the acquisition of customers is not more important than lifetime value? But it explains it really good, because as you said, once you have a customer and you take care of them, they will stick with you. You will make additional money with them, especially if it's a subscription business. But not only then, if you just have, let's say, a product that is not really good for subscriptions, is maybe smartphones. Yeah, you have a smartphone and you need the next smartphone 2 or 3 years ahead, and you don't need it in 2 months or in 1 month. But if you are a good retailer and they are happy with you, then why not get the purchase 2 years after? So and that's fine. Yeah, it's a big investments. Maybe not good for subscriptions, I'd say, but it will be interesting, a smartphone subscription.
Yeah. Well, and think about what the App Store has done, right? Yeah. The iPhone is obviously a one-time purchase, but then you see people obviously paying their phone bill, obviously paying for a million different apps. So that really is a subscription business. It really is. And by the way, the other thing that we haven't even chatted about is those subscribers, if they're happy and they're retaining, they're not just, paying for their subscription. They're going to be referring their friends and family to your product. They're going to be leaving positive reviews, writing blog posts about your product. So it's definitely more than just the LTV of that one person, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. How important is automation for your company and for your customers?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's crazy what we hear, and brands come to us all the time with very, very manual processes in place for billing, literally pushing triggers when someone's subscription is about to renew. We have people with a lot of complexity around fulfillment and the 3PLs that they use. I think there's, technology is obviously the best it's ever been, and let's use it to really make your business as efficient and as seamless as possible, because I really cannot imagine how stressful it must be when someone's, packages are lost or payments don't go through. I don't know how I would handle that. I mean, I always say I'm lucky to work in tech because I don't have to worry about those things. But obviously, getting a call frantically from one of our brands is no good either. And that's really what we solve for. There's no more, manually pressing to retry someone's failed payment or sending a manual email to someone saying, hey, your payment didn't go through, or, do you want to resubscribe? We will handle all of that. And I think we're lucky to be in an ecosystem where obviously there are so many great complementary products to ours in Shopify, where if you have the right tech stack, you really are set up for success.
Awesome. Yeah, I believe that's really a very good environment. How do you handle that billing part? You said that the billing actually, or the reminders are done via your software. Are you connected to the PSP directly, or is Shopify the PSP? Can the user choose which PSPs they use, or are they connected to specific ones?
Great question. So one of our main focuses is to make it as secure of a process as possible. So your payment processor is still physically doing the transaction. So everything stems from the same source, which is the same place where your one-time purchases, for example, would go through. What Smartrr does is it automates, and you can really customize this flow, what time of the day you want someone to be billed, how you want someone to be notified of that transaction. And basically what we do is make that process automated, even if there's an error, someone's address was invalid or their credit card failed or their email bounced back, whatever it is, we want to make sure that your CS teams ultimately are saving time, not having to work through those issues.
Okay, that's very important. Yeah, because I think when you have a subscription business and you need to still monitor payments or still reach out manually, this is a game stopper. Yeah, and that's really important to have that automated. So the orders of those subscriptions still appear in Shopify, or do they only appear then in your software and your channel?
Great question. So we are totally integrated into the Shopify checkout, meaning that the transactions go through as if they were a normal purchase. I think that's another interesting thing to think through, is how historically purchases were so separated, right? You had a different product if it was a subscription. You had a different checkout if it was a subscription. Our goal is to make it seamless for the consumer. So
very important. Yeah.
And so everything from the checkout to actually managing those orders, handling fulfillment, and even just looking at what orders have been processed today, all of that goes through Shopify as it normally would. That being said, we also do offer analytics through our dashboard where you can see transactions happening in real time as well.
Got it. Yeah. I think what would be very interesting would be to know, I know we talked a lot about similar things already, but do you have 2 or 3 quick wins for e-commerce store owners? When should I start a subscription business? What should I consider? What are my 3, let's say 2 or 3 quick wins?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that they're all pretty easy to do. I wish we saw more of these. So I think one is making a splash. When you launch subscriptions, let your database know, right? Whether it's existing customers, repeat customers, or just people even that you have contact info from or through marketing efforts, let them know that you have a really great membership program. Make a big splash. The second thing is make sure that you have reasons why someone should subscribe. And ideally, it's not just for the discount. Whether you're doing a convenience good, like we said earlier, something like, toilet paper, or if it's more of an experience, either way, you really want to have reasons why someone should enjoy the subscription or quote unquote membership. Free shipping is a very common one that I think people miss sometimes, really improves the conversion there. It could be a free gift on your 6th order. It could be a free birthday gift. It could be a free goodie and a welcome note in your initial purchase. But really make it a strong reason why someone should want to benefit from subscribing, and make that clear on the product page. Don't just have subscribe and save versus one-time purchase. Show what the benefits are.
That's good. What do you think about limitations?
Like what?
When you have the possibility to make limited editions of your products, and you put that as a benefit.
Great point. Yes. So that's one of the things that Smartrr does. We have this portal that's totally branded where the consumer can go in to manage their subscription. In that portal, you can actually have products that are only available to members. You can also make it a member marketplace where, because you're a member, you receive, let's say, 10% off any additional one-time goods that you purchase or subscriptions that you purchase. But that's a great point. I think we work with a lot of brands actually that are now starting to do this, where you see, for October, for Halloween, we're going to be doing limited time flavors and drops, but you have to be a member in order to receive those goods. I think it's a very, very cool marketing idea.
Yeah, I also believe that limitation was always a good thing. Is it in sales campaigns when you have the deadline in 2 or 3 days? And you see that the purchases are increasing that time frame. If it's limited editions for printings on textiles, so that you just have that specific thing. And subscription really allows you to play with that, I think.
Yes. Well, scarcity is as old as time. I mean, there's a Trader Joe's that I go to, and Trader Joe's is king of scarcity because they have limited time drops of every item. And I went in the other day, and they have Bamba normally, which is an Israeli peanut butter snack. They just released Bamba that has hazelnut inside of it. Yeah. And I literally saw people putting 30, 40, 50 bags in their cart, running to the checkout. People were like yelling at the workers of Trader Joe's saying, "We need more Bamba. We need more Bamba." I mean, that is crazy, right? So
that's really crazy.
So to the extent that you can use scarcity to help your business, I think it's a great marketing strategy.
Yeah, it's like Apple does actually. So every time a new iPhone comes out,
exactly,
it's the same thing.
And by the way, when I was, this was, I'm not going to age myself, but many moons ago, one of the first releases, I stood online in the heat for like 6 hours outside of an Apple store in New York. So yes, Jesus. I've fallen victim to Apple's toys for sure.
That's great. Okay. Let me ask you the last question for today. Who has taught you the most about e-commerce in your career?
I mean, I'm gonna go cheesy here and say our clients. Every day I learn from brands all day what has worked, what hasn't worked, what challenges they have. And everyone comes with such a unique perspective. You have first-time entrepreneurs who are new to eCom, who have such innovative ideas. You have, legacy pros in the eCom space that have been running companies for a long time. And I think just really accumulating the data that everyone provides us is the best teacher. It's amazing.
Yeah. Clients always are very good teachers, especially for tech products and in e-commerce. Anyway, you learn so much. Thank you very much, Gabby. It was really a great interview. I wish you all the best with Smartrr, and good luck.
Yes, looking forward to talking soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's it for this episode of the eCom Ops podcast. If you enjoyed listening and would like us to find and interview more e-commerce operations experts, please search for eCom Ops podcast in your favorite podcast listening app, and then subscribe, rate, and review. Until next time.